Have you ever noticed that the loudest conversations don't happen with other people? They happen inside your own mind. Maybe you're trying to fall asleep. The room is quiet, the lights are off, everything around you is peaceful, but somehow your brain decides now is the perfect time to remember something embarrassing from 3 years ago. Why? Why does that happen? And more importantly, how do we stop it? Today, James and I are talking about overthinking, not as psychologists, not as experts, just as two people who've spent way too much time inside their own heads. So, make yourself comfortable, take a deep breath, and let's have a conversation.
Can I admit something a little embarrassing?
That depends. How embarrassing are we talking?
On a scale from 1 to 10, probably an 8.
Now I'm definitely curious. Go on.
A few nights ago, I couldn't sleep. Not because I wasn't tired. I was exhausted, but my brain kept replaying a conversation from work. It wasn't even an important conversation. Someone asked me a simple question, I answered, they smiled. That was it. Completely normal. But when I got home, my brain suddenly became a detective. What did that smile mean? Were they being polite? Did they actually agree with me? Maybe I sounded strange.
Oh no, I know that detective. Mine works overtime.
Exactly. And the worst part, the detective never finds any evidence. He just keeps asking more questions.
That's actually the perfect description of overthinking. It's an investigation without any real clues.
Can I ask you something? Honestly? Of course. Do you think everyone overthinks, or is it just people like us?
I think almost everyone does. The difference is we don't always see it. Think about someone who looks really confident. Maybe they gave an amazing presentation. Maybe they spoke perfect English. Maybe they walked into the room smiling. From the outside, they seem fearless. But inside, they might be thinking, did I talk too fast? I should have explained that better. I hope nobody noticed my mistake.
That's comforting.
Why?
Because sometimes I think I'm the only person whose brain refuses to relax.
You're definitely not. And I think that's something we forget. We compare our private thoughts with everyone else's public behavior. That's never a fair comparison.
You know, there's something I've always wondered. Why does my brain remember embarrassing moments but completely forget useful things? I can forget where I left my keys, but somehow remember saying something awkward when I was 16.
That's strangely true. I still remember calling one of my teachers Mom.
No, you didn't.
I absolutely did. In front of the whole class, there was complete silence, then everyone laughed, including the teacher.
What did you do?
I wanted the floor to open so I could disappear forever.
I would have felt exactly the same.
Here's the funny part. A few years later, I met one of my classmates. We started talking about school. Do you know what happened?
They remembered?
No, they didn't remember it at all. Not even a little.
Seriously?
Yes, I carried that memory around for years. They had completely forgotten it.
That's incredible. Sometimes we're carrying heavy memories that nobody else is carrying.
Exactly. It's almost like we're the only audience watching our own mistakes. Everyone else has already moved on.
That reminds me of something. Last month, I accidentally sent a voice message to the wrong person.
Oh, that's dangerous already.
It was supposed to go to my best friend. Instead, I sent it to my manager.
Wait, what was in the message?
Nothing terrible, just me complaining that I was tired and saying, I hope tomorrow isn't too busy. The moment I realized what happened, my heart almost stopped.
I can imagine. Did your manager reply?
Not immediately, which made everything worse. For 3 hours, I imagined every possible outcome. Maybe he was disappointed. Maybe he thought I wasn't professional. Maybe I'd ruined everything.
And what actually happened?
He finally replied. He said, "Haha, don't worry. I hope you get some rest." That was it. 3 hours of worry for one kind sentence.
It's amazing how quickly our imagination can become a movie director.
And somehow, it only makes disaster movies.
Can I tell you something I've learned?
Please.
Our brain isn't trying to make us unhappy. It's trying to protect us. The problem is, it sometimes protects us from things that aren't actually dangerous.
Like sending a message?
Exactly. Or meeting new people, or speaking English, or asking a question in class, or trying something new. Your brain whispers, "What if something goes wrong?" Because somewhere deep inside, it believes uncertainty equals danger,
Even when it doesn't.
even when it doesn't.
Can I ask our listeners something?
Go ahead.
Think about the last thing you couldn't stop worrying about. Maybe it was yesterday. Maybe it was this morning. Maybe it's something you're still thinking about right now. Here's my question. Did anything bad actually happen? Or did your mind simply imagine 100 different possibilities? Take a second. Really think about it. Because I have a feeling many of us spend more time preparing for problems than actually solving them.
That's such an interesting thought. Maybe overthinking isn't really about the future. Maybe it's about our relationship with uncertainty. Some people can say, "I don't know what will happen," and continue living their lives. Others feel like they must know every answer before taking the next step.
I think I'm the second person.
I used to be too, until one day, someone asked me a question I'll never forget.
What was it?
They smiled and said, "Mia, what if life isn't asking you to know everything? What if it's only asking you to take the next step?" I didn't answer because honestly, I didn't have one. But I thought about that question for a very long time. And I think that question changed something inside of me.
Now you've made me curious. What changed?
Well, that's where our conversation really begins.
So, what changed? I'm curious now.
Not immediately. Actually, nothing changed at first. I heard that question, I smiled, and then I went home and continued overthinking exactly like before.
Well, that's honest.
It is. Real change is usually much slower than we expect. Sometimes one sentence stays in your mind for weeks. Then, one day, without even noticing, you begin to live differently.
I like that. It's comforting because sometimes I think if I still overthink, maybe I'm not improving.
No, improvement doesn't mean you never overthink again. It means you don't stay there as long.
That reminds me of something. When I was learning to drive, I was terrified. Every little mistake felt huge. I'd think, what if I hit something? What if everyone is watching me? What if I forget what to do?
And now?
Now I drive without thinking about most of those things.
Exactly. Confidence didn't come first. Experience did.
Wait, that's actually a really important idea. Most people think they need confidence before they start, but maybe confidence comes because you started.
I couldn't have said it better.
So, overthinking sometimes keeps us waiting for a feeling that only comes after action.
Yes. Imagine someone standing at the edge of a swimming pool. They keep saying, "I'll jump in when I'm not afraid." But the fear never disappears. Eventually, they realize the only way to become comfortable in the water is to get in.
Very slowly, I hope.
Yes, nobody says you have to dive in immediately. Sometimes putting one foot in the water is enough for today.
Can I tell you something strange?
Always.
Whenever I overthink, my world becomes very small.
What do you mean?
I stop noticing everything around me. The weather, music, people smiling, a good cup of coffee, even my favorite food. It's like my mind is trapped inside one tiny problem.
That's a beautiful observation. Overthinking steals our attention, and attention is where life happens.
Wow, I've never thought about it like that.
Think about the happiest memories in your life. Maybe a vacation, a birthday, a walk with someone you love. In those moments, were you worrying about 10 different things?
No, I was just there.
Exactly. Presence and overthinking rarely exist together.
Can I ask you something a little difficult?
Go ahead.
Do you think perfectionism is connected to overthinking?
Very much.
Perfectionism often whispers, if it's not perfect, don't do it. Overthinking whispers, keep thinking until it's perfect. Together, they can keep us stuck for a very long time.
That's scary because it sounds familiar.
I think many people listening right now are quietly saying, me too.
You know what's funny? Sometimes I spend 30 minutes writing a simple text message. Then I finally send it, and the other person replies in 5 seconds.
Yes, and usually with something like, sounds good, or see you later. Meanwhile, you've been writing and deleting the same message 15 times.
Exactly. It's almost embarrassing to admit.
I don't think it's embarrassing. I think it's human.
Here's another thing. Sometimes I imagine conversations that never happen. Have you ever done that?
Oh, many times. I'll be walking somewhere and suddenly I'm giving a perfect speech to someone who isn't even there.
Me too. And somehow I always win the argument.
Of course you do. It's your imagination. You're writing both sides of the conversation.
Maybe that's why I sound so clever.
Exactly. Real conversations are much less predictable. And honestly, that's what makes them interesting.
So maybe life isn't asking us to prepare for every possible situation.
No, because that's impossible. Life is full of surprises, good ones and difficult ones. If we wait until we feel completely ready, we might spend our whole lives waiting.
That sentence is going to stay with me.
It stayed with me too, but then I discovered something even more surprising, something that completely changed the way I looked at my own thoughts.
Now you can't stop there. What was it?
Let's talk about that next.
All right, you can't leave me waiting. What changed? What was the surprising thing?
One day, I heard someone say something so simple that I almost ignored it. They said, you don't have to believe every thought you have.
Wait, that's it?
That's exactly what I thought. I smiled and said, of course. But later that night, I kept thinking about it. If every thought were true, then why do our thoughts change so often?
That's interesting. Sometimes in the morning, I feel excited. By evening, I feel worried. Nothing around me changed, only my thoughts did.
Exactly. Thoughts are like the weather. Sometimes it's sunny, sometimes it's cloudy. Sometimes a storm arrives without warning, but the sky is still the sky.
So we're not our thoughts.
I don't think we are. We experience them, we notice them, but we don't have to follow every single one.
That reminds me of something funny. Last weekend, I wanted to try a new cafe. Before I even left home, my brain started working. What if it's too crowded? What if I don't like the coffee? What if I can't find a seat? What if I waste my money? By the time I finished thinking, I almost stayed home.
Did you go?
Eventually, yes.
And
It was great. The coffee was amazing. The music was relaxing. I even met an old friend there.
imagine if overthinking had made that decision for you. You would have missed a beautiful afternoon.
That's what surprised me. Sometimes overthinking doesn't protect us. It steals experiences we never even realize we're losing.
Exactly. Most of life's best moments aren't perfectly planned. They're discovered. A conversation, a walk, a new friendship, a funny mistake, a beautiful sunset. None of those happen because we thought about them for hours. They happen because we showed up.
Can I tell you something I've never told anyone?
Of course.
There was a time when I wanted to improve my English, but I was afraid to speak. I kept thinking, my pronunciation isn't good enough. My grammar isn't perfect. What if people laugh? So I practiced silently for months.
When did that change?
One day, I accidentally had to ask a tourist for directions. I didn't have time to overthink. I just spoke. Was my English perfect? Not even close. Did we understand each other? Yes. And that single conversation taught me more than months of worrying.
That's such an important lesson. Sometimes real progress begins the moment we stop waiting to feel ready.
You know, I've noticed something about children.
What is it?
They fall, they laugh, they get up. Then they try again. Adults fall once and think about it for 3 years.
That's painfully accurate. Children aren't less intelligent, they're simply less afraid of looking imperfect.
Maybe that's why they learn so quickly.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Imagine you're 80 years old. You look back on your life. Which do you think you'll regret more? The mistakes you made or the opportunities you never took because you kept overthinking? Take your time. It's not an easy question.
I think I'd regret the chances I never took, because at least mistakes become stories. The opportunities we never take remain unanswered questions.
I feel exactly the same way.
So maybe courage isn't feeling fearless. Maybe courage is saying, I'm nervous, but I'm going anyway.
I love that because courage doesn't wait for fear to disappear. It simply refuses to make every decision.
You know, when we started today's conversation, I thought overthinking was the enemy. Now I'm beginning to think the real enemy is believing every scary story our mind tells us.
I think that's a beautiful realization. Our mind can be a wonderful storyteller. Sometimes it tells stories full of hope. Other times it tells stories full of fear. Our job isn't to stop the stories. Our job is to decide which ones deserve our attention.
That's probably one of my favorite things you've said today.